now we are going to reap the rewards of our initiation into the study of places and efforts of articulation. And doing this really is kind of special, and it emphasizes something special about what we're doing, because Parnangi did not write a text. He composed an oral grammar, and we are learning it as an oral grammar and carrying the sound of the grammar in our mind and drawing on that whenever we are operating the grammar makes all the difference. It's so different than operating with the grammar primarily or even uniquely in terms of written text. That's not how it was composed, and it's not how it works. So that means we inevitably, as we make our efforts to move along in learning the grammar, are doing it by ear and by voice. And so it's natural for us to place a high value on working to understand the grammar in its own terms, in terms of articulation, both the place and effort. So all of this comes into play in the next sutra, which is inherently, or at least on the surface, simple, and we will understand it in a deeper way. And when we're done with that, I'm going to give two more examples of why all of this is so important to really feeling what's going on, and also where the abhyantara versus bahya prayatna come into play. So our next sutra is 1110. Sorry about the glare. 1110, and I've forgotten where it is, Siddhanta Comedy. It's pretty early, but I'll fill that in later. So, Nad Chalao. So to recap, Vrithiradayich Adengunaha Ekoguna Vritti Halonantaraha Samyogaha Mukkanasika Vachanonunasikaha Tulyasya Prayatnam Savarnam Rulavarnayormita Savarnyam Vacham Nad Chalao. The last before this was a Vartaka, so it goes Tulyasya Prayatnam Savarnam Nad Chalao. And this is, again, on the surface, pretty straightforward, but it brings out a lot of stuff that we are just beginning to learn and understand. So the Padapada is Na Ach Halao. Na Ach Halao. And as we know, Ach is the pratyahara of the vowels, and Hal is the pratyahara of consonants. And so together, Ach Halao. Here the Anuvritihi is Tulyasya Prayatnam Savarnam, which is the entire preceding sutra. So the complete sutra here for Nad Chalao is Tulyasya Prayatnao Ach Halao Savarnao Na. Now this is a moment to point out that when words come by Anuvritihi into a following sutra, they are adapted in terms of both gender and number to the sutra that they've entered into. So here we have Tulyasya Prayatnao dual and Savarnao dual. So Tulyasya Prayatnao Ach Halao Savarnao Na. An Ach and a Hal with the same place and effort of articulation are not Savarna. So, pretty straightforward. But why all the fuss? Why is this not just obvious to us? Well, we are in a position to understand why. So, if you remember our discussion of places of articulation, we had akuha visarjaniyanam kantaha, ichuya shanam talu, rurtura shanam murtha, lurtula sanam dantaha. And boiling it all down as I have here to the relevant parts, akuha, a and ha, kantaha, they have the same place of articulation. I chuya shanam talu, I and sh have the same place of articulation. Rurtura shanam murdha, r and sha have the same place. Similarly, lurtula sanam dantaha. So here we have vowels and consonants which have the same place of articulation. But what about their effort of articulation? Now, as you will recall, only the abhyantara, the internal effort of articulation, matters here. And so what about that? Well, you may remember that the shwasaha, shषसः are ushmanaha, achaha are swaraha, and the effort of articulation of vivartam is defined as ushmanam svaranam cha. Ushmanam svaranam cha. That means that the vivartam, internal effort of articulation, is ushmanam and svaranam cha for both the ushmana and swara. So putting it all together, the result is that a is savarna with ha, I is savarna with sh, r is savarna with sha, and lur is savarna with sa. And this will not do in terms of many operations of the grammar. So this sutra is here to clarify that this is not okay. So I'll come back with 2 more sutras that we are going to look at, or 1 Vartika and 1 sutra, just to see again how these pieces come together and give what is potentially a superficial rule, no consonants and vowels, to something that really rings true to us and seems meaningful.